Hello everyone, I hope this finds you happy and well. First, I just want to tell you how taken aback and honored I am with the response that I got from my Facebook post. Really wasn't expecting anything to that extent. And I am excited to start these videos. It's going to be, well, I'm figuring this out as I go along. So bear with me, and I hope to be able to create an entertaining and informative video series for you guys. So first, I want to go over the reasons for foam rolling. We're going to look at what's actually physiologically going on while we foam roll, the reasons to do the foam rolling, safety, breathing, and this first episode is going to actually be a lot more of me talking than actually showing you rolling. I need to get this information to you so you actually understand what's going on. The more information you have, the better you're going to be able to have this conversation with your body. I want you to think about foam rolling basically as it's couples counseling for you and your body. You've had a codependent relationship with your body for probably most of your life. And now that we're going to have this counseling session with it, it's got some shit to say. And as any counseling session goes, it's probably not going to be very pleasant for a good amount of it, at least on the beginning. It's going to take a little while to understand what's actually happening and to get comfortable moving around on your foam roller. While I'm talking, why don't you, if you do have a foam roller, go ahead and just so you're not completely bored, why don't you go ahead and just sit on it. Get a sense of what it means to be on top of your foam roller, feel your body moving on it, and just kind of hang out while I talk. All right. First, I want to talk about your muscle spindles and your Golgi tendon organ, or your GTO. So your muscle spindles are, think of them as like corkscrews. You turn the muscle on, they screw down, shortening the length of the muscle. The muscle the spindle unscrews, and that lengthens the muscle. This is our movement here. You know, I have my tricep shortening, I have my bicep elongating. I have my bicep shortening, I have my tricep elongating. What happens if we sit in a position or if we have a repetitive motion that we do, certain muscles get locked in the on position. So if you have a desk job, or if you've gone for a long drive, you've been sitting for a long period of time, your hip flexors, your quadriceps, these are all in the on position. Even if you're not putting effort into the muscles, they're in the on position, the shortened position, and if they stay there for a long period of time, they lock on, basically. To deal with that, I mean, you get out of the car, you fall forward, you can tell that everything's tight in the front, you kind of walk differently that initial period that you get out of the car, and that's a shortened muscle spindle, that's kind of locked on. Next we have our Golgi tendon organ. Now, the GTO is part of your autonomic system. If I'm walking down the street and I step on a patch of ice and I slip and I'm about to do the splits, but I don't have the ability to do the splits, and I'm going to tear a bunch of muscles in my nether region, your GTO will turn off those muscles as much as it can so that it makes you more flexible to cause less damage to your body. Your GTO is also, now these are present in all of your muscle groupings. The GTO is also kind of the premise of majority of deep tissue massage, shiatsu, trigger point, reflexology. These all deal with triggering your Golgi tendon organ to turn the muscle spindle off. If you have a muscle that's locked on, it has to actively be turned off. And unfortunately, stretching does not do that. Stretching does elongate and increase the amount of blood flow to the muscles, but it doesn't actively turn the muscle groups off. So sometimes stretching can actually exacerbate something that's going on with the muscles. So how we turn it off. All right, so as you've potentially had a massage, they're gonna put pressure on an area, they're rubbing into it, eventually that area loosens up and lets go. If you put pressure on a group of muscles for 30 seconds minimum, or when I was dealing with a bunch of injuries, I would spend 15 minutes on that area, and it wasn't a pleasant 15 minutes. So we're gonna look at our muscle spindles being too short or shortened, and using the foam roller and our body weight down or various positions on the foam roller to trigger our GTO to turn these muscles off. Now, I want you to think about your body. You are basically a marionette with the strings on the inside. The tension that goes through your body, think about a tent. You have outriders that are pulling down the tension on the ropes. You're creating tension on that tent. If you have some that are too short, you're being pulled one direction, and then these guys are too loose, and it allows that bad tension or that offset tension on the body. So if you think about that with your joints, if my hip flexors and my quadriceps and my adductors and abductors are all out of tension, that's going to affect how my knee moves. It's going to affect how my leg laterally rotates out or internally rotates or supinates or any of these things. If I'm right-handed, you'll notice that sometimes people who are overly dominant on their right side will have their right side will come up and they'll have tension on their left side as far as their hips being too much. So we want to think about our body as that marionette, and we're going to figure out how to balance the tension on our joints. Thinking about the tension and how we're going to deal with it, we're going to go through, and as we roll on the foam roller, we're going to find areas of our body that are more sensitive than others. I like to call these areas brightnesses because, oh God, what is that spot is a little demoralizing to say out loud. They are going to be potentially quite painful. You will have moments where you are not excited to be on the foam roller. This is a reality of it. This is that couples counseling again. We're going to go in and we're going to talk to our body. Your body's going to have a lot of shit to say to you. And this is the difference between getting a massage and foam rolling is the masseuse can't hear what your body's saying. They can read the tensions in your body and understand the imbalances that might be present from their touching you, but you know exactly how certain things feel. You can feel, if I work on my shoulder, I might have a release in my hip. If I work on my hips, I will get blood flow back down to my feet. There are areas of our bodies that will connect to each other that we didn't know were connected. So we're going to think about that as well. All right. Third, I want to talk about breathing. Now, it's instinctual, it makes sense, and it's something that we do naturally, that if something hurts, we kind of tense up and hold our breath. You're like, oh, son of a gun, that's awful. And you're going to resist that pain. Foam rolling is very counterintuitive when it comes to that, because I want you to breathe into it. I want you to not hold your breath because A, that's going to exacerbate what's going on in that spot. It's not going to allow you to actually turn that muscle off. If you're flexing a muscle, you can't turn it off. It just doesn't work that way. So you're going to breathe into these spots. Deep guttural breaths, slow in through the nose, controlled out through the mouth. It's a very meditative style of breathing. This breathing is also important because we're going to engage our core while we do so. While we're just sitting here, I want you to put your hand on your belly button, and as we breathe in, I want you to kind of create a little tension just against your hand. You're not bearing down on this inhale, you're just kind of putting your attention there, and you'll notice that your abdominal muscles will turn on. You're not bearing down, you're just engaging those muscles. So inhale, exhale. On the exhale, I want you to feel your obliques, your back, all these guys turn on as well. Let's do 2 more breaths. Inhaling, exhale. Now this slow, controlled, deliberate breath is essential for foam rolling. While we're moving on the foam roller, while we're going back and forth, while we're moving our body on the foam roller, we will orient our movements to our breath, keeping our core engaged to keep our spine and our upper and lower body connected the whole time. It's also going to help you get through the pain. Like I said, this is not going to be a pleasant experience for the initial part of it. It is kind of painful at points. And with that, I want us to think about flirting our way into a muscle group. You're going to have muscles in areas of your body that are going to be like 7 to 11 kind of pain threshold area as far as your rating. I mean, we don't necessarily want to go into those higher areas. If you get onto a spot like, say, your inner legs, if we're rolling out our inner legs in like this spot right here, that's really common to be an intensely painful area because we're out of balance. And I don't want you to just go and just put all your pressure on that spot. It's going to be painful, you're going to resist it, you can potentially create bruising and exacerbate things that are going on. We want to flirt our way into these muscle groups. I mean, if you meet somebody, you just don't go up and lay one on them. You ask them, hey, you like coffee? I like coffee. You like dogs? I like dogs. Yeah, and then you lay one on them. And so we're going to kind of approach our body in that same way. If an area is a 7 or higher, I want you to back off and hang out in that 4 to 6 range. And as we hang out there, those muscles will releasing some of the tension in those higher stressed areas. And that's kind of that balance. We're going to flirt our way in and go slow, breathing into these areas, allowing us to lessen the amount of pain that we're going to experience as we go through this. I mean, the goal really isn't to suffer through this. It's to create an understanding of what's going on in your body and understand how we can create a healthier arrangement with you and your body and the movements and your daily practice. Finally, let's talk about safety. All right, so at no point, if you have a weird needle-like pain, if you have like a weird hair being pulled kind of pain, any hotness, any electrical kind of pain or sensation, I want you to slowly get off the foam roller, easy and slow, get up, see what's going on, assess the situation, and try to figure out what's causing that pain. If you're feeling pain in your back or in your spine, there's potential that your form is off. I want you to think about breathing, engaging your core, flattening out, and neutralizing your spine. And we're going to go over all that sort of stuff as well. So let's see, we talked about your GTO, we talked about your muscle spindle, we talked about you being a marionette and looking at balancing the tension on our joints and our body. And then we're going to talk, and I already talked about breathing and safety. So that was a whole lot of me talking, and this is going to be I think that's about all I want to go over. This was a lot of stuff to kind of throw at you, and I'm going to reiterate all of this information over and over again as we do these videos. You're going to get tired of me talking about breathing, you're going to get tired of me talking about the marionette and flirting our way in, and I'm going to try to come up with some new lines. But the biggest thing with all of this is just go slowly. There's no reason to rush into this. You aren't going to benefit by going real fast too soon. And I think that's about all I want to cover with this. Right now I'm currently at my place. This is my garage that's still a work in progress. I will also be going over to the winter studios where I have been they are in my social distancing bubble, in my quarantine bubble, so I'm not going to a new place. And I will be filming over there as well. I'm also going to be doing some stuff in regards to basic exercise movements, squats, push-ups, things like that, and proper form. And I'm going to try to correlate them between the videos I'm doing with foam rolling and also the exercise videos I'm going to do for you. So again, I hope everybody's doing well. The next video I'm going to do, we're going to go over cervical, thoracic, and just proper positioning and movements on your upper body and how to move forward with that. All right, everybody, have a great day.